they're worried that they'll spend eternity alone. So the families that are heartbroken, sometimes they organise a marriage for their departed loved one. So they fix it and arrange a wedding for the dead.
It's a death sentence.
Welcome back to It's a Death Sentence. We are your hosts, Emma Skip and the delightful Carrie Smith.
Hi.
Hi. We are here to do a Valentine's episode called Dying for Love.
So love and death have been written about, spoken about since the beginning of time. It's the sort of stuff that fairy tales and often murder scenes are made of. Today we delve into the relationship between love and death.
Yeah, I mean, it is tale as old as time.
I feel like we should
in the famous words
the
of
song then.
what's it from? Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just open this up with, have you ever loved someone so much or in an unhealthy way that it feels like a physical pain? I mean, your immediate answer should be yes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
because it's a driver. It's a human driver, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It like drives us to do crazy things, very spontaneous things, drives you to, have sex with people. Otherwise, you might just feel like repelled by them. And
well, it's even in the vows, isn't it? Till death us do part.
Yeah.
Like I love you to death.
Yeah.
But
I think, those vows are probably just archaic and just meant the man can just own the woman until she dies and then he can just get remarried.
There's a theme here.
Yeah. Well, I know that you and we spoke about doing this episode and we did talk about something called broken heart syndrome.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I'm going to look this up because it really was interesting. So I'm going to go for this I'm going to try and actually say what it's called.
Go for it. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Takotsubo cardiomyopathy.
That's it. That's the one. I called it something totally different
It's a temporary heart condition that can be triggered by severe emotional or physical stress. It weakens the heart muscle, causing symptoms similar to a heart attack, such as chest pain and shortness of breath. Unlike a heart attack, there are no blocked arteries. Instead, a part of the heart temporarily enlarges and it doesn't pump well due to the surge of stress hormones. I mean, we've all had that moment of, I think you get it when you're in the car and you have like a near miss with somebody and like that feeling in your chest and your heart.
When you shit yourself.
Shit your pants, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
When I think of it like, you hear old people who die. If they've been together for a long time, then
one goes after the
other. They all say, oh, we died of a broken heart.
Yeah.
That's how I think
There's something so deeply sad and romantic about that all at the same time.
Yeah.
All at the same time. And of course, it's not limited to humans. You see the love between a human and its dog, usually, isn't it?
Yeah.
A pet. You hear a lot about that as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't really relate to it completely because I haven't grown up with animals, but the amount of people that talk to us about their love of their animals and their absolute broken hearts when they've lost them. It's definitely something we've talked about before and we must do an episode on, but the love of the loss of an animal. But anyhow, coming back to Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, it's unlikely you'll die from a broken heart syndrome. It's very unlikely. The estimates of death are in the range of 0% to 8% in most cases. So if somebody presents with broken heart syndrome, the risk of actually dying from it is incredibly low. In most cases, broken heart syndrome is a temporary condition with a full recovery. But it's still a physical, we talked about this before, how our grief, our pain, our love, our loss, all of those big human emotions have a direct correlation with our physiology.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It is, your body is just going to do something because it's overwhelmed or excited or too sad or whatever it is. It's like a real physical manifestation of those symptoms, isn't it?
Yeah, they seem to work as one, don't they? Mind and body.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Western medicine doesn't treat it like that. And we go, oh, she's got mental health problems, not at all related to the physical health problems that person's experiencing. But I think that there's an awakening there of different sort of paths of thought, isn't there?
Absolutely.
So that's where I've jumped into broken heart syndrome, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about like historical.
Have you
love, aren't we?
Have you heard of people getting married when they're dead?
No.
Just thought I'd throw that one out
there. Okay.
Right. So, you've heard the saying like, I love you to death, or to death us do part, and all that. But, what about after, when you're dead?
Okay, but the thing is, one of them's got to want to do it and verbalise that. Otherwise,
what if they're both dead?
Oh, prior to them dying. Otherwise, you've just got some
after.
corpses like knocking about in your mortuary, and you're like, oh, these two look like, well, they're well suited.
We'll put them in the same fridge.
Yeah.
No, in some regions of rural China, especially among the older generations, there's a belief that the dying, who if they've died unmarried, they're worried that they'll spend eternity alone. So the families that are heartbroken, sometimes they organise a marriage for their departed loved one. So they fix it and arrange a wedding for the dead.
Okay, well, I mean,
normally between two dead people.
That's good to know. You're married. I've been married. So we've both, gone down that route of being married. But, do we believe in marriage enough for the sake of you being in eternal loneliness if you're not married?
Well, for some people that is eternal loneliness, isn't it, I suppose, being married?
Well, eternal loneliness is online dating, as we previously discussed.
We've established. Sometimes between the dead people, that makes no sense what I've just said. I've just was reading my own notes and I don't make a jot of sense. It's like a supernatural Tinder, basically, is what I was trying to say. They sort of match up two dead people and go, he's young and he died, and she was young and she died. Let's put them together. Let's marry them.
Sorry,
families.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is only in certain parts of
rural parts of China. Yeah, okay. Regions of China. They even have wedding photos, rituals, a dowry, everything. So it's just so that they're not on their own. It's like just a protectoral,
splendid denial.
It's a cultural logic. Crazy. But here's where it gets really weird.
Go on then. Oh, God, that wasn't weird enough.
Sometimes they can have afterlife drama.
Oh, did he cheat on his corpse wife?
The corpse bride. Like families have reported.
Well, there is a film, Corpse Bride. I watched it with the kids. It's about that, isn't it?
He puts a ring on her hand that's sticking out of the grave. Yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it is good.
Families have reported nightmares, restless nights, and even seeing their child in their dreams or in spirit form, saying they dislike their spouse that they've chosen for them. So even ghost couples can't have a good relationship.
We've noticed this about just the human condition, that we just don't get on.
Yeah.
In life or death, just don't get on.
I thought that was really interesting that's a cultural belief, and that it's still practiced in some places.
Yeah. Very interesting. I mean, obviously you can't imagine it here.
No, definitely not.
I mean, I went down a complete rabbit hole when I started doing some research for this. There are really obvious deaths in history that are, the Romeo and Juliet. And that story is obviously, or the sort of premise of that story is used over and over again, isn't it? But I decided not to look at that. Instead, I looked at Henry VIII and all his wives.
He had multiple love, didn't he?
Well, this is it.
Or did he?
There's some school of thought that is, he was royal family and therefore anyone would marry him, or they had to. And then there's some school of thought, where there was true affection. So, were they executed for treason and adultery after, or, he got bored with them, but did they love him and therefore he managed to love all these women to death? That was my question about it. What do you think?
Wow. From what I know about Henry VIII, which is very little.
Yeah.
I would say he probably just loved having a woman run around after him. But they were all very different, weren't they, his wives? Weren't they all quite different
really
in personality?
Different, So I think Jane Seymour was the only one who she died after giving him a son.
Okay.
So of course it's all about the heir to the throne, isn't it? So he was buried next to her. So of all the wives, the ones
she
before
was his
and
baby
after,
mama.
He was buried. Exactly that. So he was
baby
buried.
Mama bragging rights.
Yeah, he was buried with her or next to her. But yeah, I think it was probably typical of the time and society. But other than that, he cut off Anne Boleyn's head because she
looked at another man.
Well, adultery, apparently.
Oh, well, she was adulterous.
Apparently, but I mean, that's what she would have been accused of, but it wouldn't have been that. Catherine Howard, though, that was an interesting one. So she was she was in love with somebody else, Thomas Culpeper, I think it is. I don't know if it's pronounced like that. But she was, you always think of our sort of history of these, a king and a queen and it being very romantic and beautiful, and often is not the case, of course, in actual history. And what we've got to remember is, he was quite besotted with her because she was very young and beautiful. She was 17 or 18 and he was 49 and on death's door.
Dirty old perv.
Dirty old perv, exactly right. So, yeah, I got really interested in that because I was like, could you argue that all of those women died in the name of love?
Yeah.
But, I mean...
But you'll never know,
You'll never know.
I think, like you said, it's typical of history for men, like the king or whatever, to be horrible and old. And the queen to be like a queen, slaying it.
Yeah.
But have you got any more on that?
No, that was it really. I mean, there was a little bit more, but I think I was more interested with when we're presented with things throughout history about this. So did they die of a broken heart? Did they die in the name of love? How much of it is perpetuated for a story?
Yeah.
And how much of it is real? And how would we ever know? How would we ever know? We can't know, can we? We can only know how we might feel in that situation, or we can apply, societal things to it. For example, obviously gentry. I mean, were any of them really in love, or were they just sort of mildly related and therefore paired off?
Yeah. I've got a little love story.
Go on then.
That's rooted in death.
Okay.
So have you heard of Hades and Persephone?
Yes.
So, they had a very complicated relationship. And Hades, for anyone who doesn't know, is the god of the underworld, or the god of the dead. And Persephone is the queen of the underworld.
Okay.
And the queen of the dead. So Persephone was basically like the ancient Greek equivalent of a bohemian spiritual woman of today.
Okay.
Like she had flowers and beauty, and everywhere she went was gorgeous, and
just like when
lovely.
You and I enter a room.
Exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
A bit like, the Febreze adverts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
So
that was the follow-up to us walking into a room.
Me, when I've been at work, maybe, yeah. So, yeah, she was like all things beautiful. That was her. That was just her persona. And her mum was called Demeter, and she was the goddess of harvest. And she was like massively overprotective over Persephone. And as you would be over your daughter, who's gorgeous and full of beauty. Meanwhile, Hades, who was the loneliest man in the world, living in the underworld or with the dead or somewhere in between, he is basically the weird guy that lives in his mum's basement, surrounded by 3D printer models. No offence to anybody who does that.
Wow, you went
and
there.
No wonder he's single.
I've been to Warhammer. All right.
I know.
I know what it's about.
So Hades saw Persephone and he fell in love with her. And he was like, she's mine, I've got to have her. But there was zero consent, no discussion. He just pulled up in his chariot, pulled by demon horses. And instead of saying, can I have your number? He just kidnapped her.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about that, is it? In the name of love.
It's not a good look. And today, I think there'd probably be a Netflix documentary about that if it happened. So do you think that was romantic? No. Creepy.
No, creepy, yeah. But then a lot of these stories are. They're sort of underlined by, and not just men towards women. It's women towards men as well. There's a lot of kind of stalking behaviour going on.
Absolutely. So Demeter, who is Persephone's mum, she was devastated. She was almost grieving the loss of her daughter. She was gone to the underworld. And while she was gone, no crops grew, no fruit, no veg. The whole world was basically dark, and she was on strike saying, devastated, my daughter's not here and I'm not doing it anymore. This is where I'm at. I miss my daughter. So the humans started to starve. The gods started to panic, thinking what's going on. And that's when Zeus stepped in.
Okay.
Zeus stepped in and said, I've had enough. That's enough of this. And he tells Hades he's got to give her back. You've got to give Persephone back to her mum. One problem. Persephone's got a sweet tooth. And Hades said, yeah, I'll give her back. Okay. I'm just going to give her a little snack first. Send her on her way.
This is such a strange story.
So Hades knew that if you eat the food from the underworld, you basically have a magical tie to the underworld.
Okay.
So he was like,
now,
I'll give her back.
Just didn't give her some Haribo
first. Yeah. So he offers her some pomegranate seeds and she eats them. She eats 6 of them.
Okay.
6 pomegranate seeds, not 1, not 2, but 6. So she obviously liked them. That meant that she was tied to the underworld. So Zeus came up with a compromise and said, 6 months of the year, you can stay here with Hades in the underworld. And 6 months of the year, you will go to your mum, Demeter, and you will be out with her in all this beauty.
I mean, that sounds like a really good deal.
I mean, yeah. So that's where we get autumn and winter.
Okay.
And summer and spring.
Okay.
That's like
the harvest.
That's how they explain it. So all because of a kidnapping, a snack, and poor communication between these people, and it led to climate change, obviously. But did they love each other? Because it depends who you believe. So,
and also who's writing these?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the majority of historical sort of doctrine or mythology or whatever is still written by men, isn't it? So that one kind of lens there, isn't there?
So there's one version. Well, he kidnapped her. End of story. That's a massive red flag. So there's red flag energy right there, isn't it? 2, Persephone grows into her Dark Queen era, and she runs the underworld like a boss.
Okay.
And, he treats her like an equal. She enjoys time with him. And like you say, she has the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and she's like, you're doing my head in now.
Yeah, I'm going to my mum's.
6 months with my mum and get over your bullshit.
But some people say that the story is actually about grief cycles.
Wow, okay.
Seasonal change and the reality that the shit has to get dark before it gets better.
The dark and light, the yin and yang. It's the both.
It's that age-old story.
The both of everything. I'm always fascinated by this, like the perception of things. So we've got choices of how we look at anything, haven't we? Is it good or bad? Did he love her? Was it a love story? But usually it's both in almost everything. Yeah. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
In almost everything, there is the dark and the light. It's almost like it has to exist for
the other one to
humanness.
Yeah, and I think you have to have one to appreciate the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, love can pull you through the earth into the underworld, and grief can freeze the world.
Yeah.
So, those are the takes I had from it, and I thought it was a really good story to sort of illustrate.
I don't think it was one I was particularly familiar with either.
Yeah, so I thought that was really, really fun to research, and then obviously to put my own thoughts on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, love and death is tricky. It's
it's so closely woven.
Yeah. There's something like darkly romantic about love and death and
I mean, a lot of these things that you watch on TV, I mean, I don't watch them because I'm not mad, but you watch lots of true crime and stuff, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, you get a lot of people getting killed for love.
Yeah, killed for love all of the time. I mean, I did have some really kind of sort of sad statistics, and well, not really statistics, but just some sort of sad things, but you kind of feel like you're kind of shaming certain places. But if you look at the number of US women every year who are murdered by the men they loved or used to love, it's high. I haven't got the actual statistics, but it's really high. But don't stop at those borders. Look at human rights statistics in other countries, particularly India, Argentina, Afghanistan, where you see that the numbers of women murdered by their intimate partners is as high or higher. So it's still going on. There's a lot of that still going on. As I said, I didn't get statistics. I don't wish to shame anybody here, but just to make a point of the fact that, killing in the name of love or in the name of perceived love, shall we say, is still rife. And then, of course, you've got this bit of a spin on it. Women who die in childbirth.
Yeah, I mean, you're dying for the love of your...
Yeah, it's not just romantic love we're talking about, is it? That is still... It was obviously very common here prior to medical intervention, but...
Yes.
But it's still quite rampant in third world countries, isn't it? It's not unusual to die giving birth to a child. And then, we sort of go on to some really dark stuff after that, so I don't know whether that's a nice place to end
Absolutely. I was just looking interestingly at women who kill men.
Oh, okay. You had a little look.
Yeah.
You go through that, and I'm just going to read this last bit and see if I can find a more palatable way to deliver it, because it's quite rough.
Is it rough? Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. So I was just looking at women, because we talk a lot about men killing women, but actually, it's the other way as well.
Yeah.
Women kill men.
It's not often.
Well, they just make better docuseries.
Okay.
But yeah, and like back in history as well, witches and things like that, that's all quite witchy, isn't it? Women finishing off men. But the phrase women who kill men can refer to two distinct phenomena. Women who become involved with men who've committed murder is known as, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to say this.
Let's have a go.
Hybristophilia.
Hybristophilia, yeah. Hybrids.
Or
it's usually like the
paraphilia.
Okay.
And women who kill their male partners, often due to domestic abuse, jealousy, or other motives. So I don't know what the difference is there. Which one's which? That makes no sense to me at all.
Okay.
Hybristophilia, love for criminals.
Does happen though, isn't it? Women end up writing to people on death row, don't they? And they're fascinated by it. I mean, they've got to be a bit mad to start with, haven't they? It's very peculiar. So what are we saying about, have we got any statistics on women? How many men are killed by women every year? Look at her, she's on Google, she's going for it, like worldwide. And then let's do it the other way around, and we'll have no prizes for guessing.
How many men are killed by women each year? According to the Mankind Initiative, 33 men were killed by female partners or ex-partners in England and Wales.
When?
Between 22 and 23.
Really? That's astonishingly high.
Lying. 22 and 24, so 2 years.
That's still high.
Yeah, 33 men killed by female partners. See, women are at it as well. So it's not just men.
So can we do the same?
23 to 24, 8 men were killed by their partner or ex-partner, compared to 58 women.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
And also, let's just, it's not me, mate, like hating on men in any way at all. They're just, bigger. I think maybe women would kill more often if they stood a physical chance of doing it with their bare hands.
I think women, they like a poison, don't they? Women.
Yeah,
women's
just jump on him and bash.
I'm just going to cook him a nice soup with some rat poison in.
Yeah. There's a brilliant song by the Dixie Chicks called Earl. It's about Earl had to die. She poisons his peas because he beats her all her life.
Yeah, you can see why women are driven to that though, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always this. We're supposed to be talking about love and death, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so we hope you're having a lovely Valentine's Day.
Yeah, enjoy that. Try not to poison.
Try not to murder anyone.
Yeah. And remember, talking therapies work.
Yeah.
Thank you from us at It's a Death Sentence.
We love talking to you.
Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in to It's a Death Sentence. Please keep listening to our weekly episodes.
And if you like our show, please like, share and subscribe.
We are dying to talk to you.